Hi, everybody. I am making a video for you this week that is all about the idea of doing things the hard way. Because I wish I had a dollar for every time I heard a client say to me, like, I just don't want my kid to have to learn the hard way, or I don't understand why my kid always has to learn everything the hard way, or I already learned this stuff the hard way. I want to help my kid not have to go through that, right? Like this idea of learning things the hard way, it's a really big deal. And this is what the number one message I want to get across in this video today, which is this: the hard way is the only way. So we all wish that we could, you know, help our kids benefit from the wisdom of our experience, right? I learned this thing the hard way. Now I can teach it to my kids so they don't have to go through all that suffering. Like I learned the hard way that backstabbing your friends in high school doesn't work out really well for you. So let me just tell you about that. And then you don't have to figure it out the hard way. You can just like benefit from the fact that I already figured it out, right? That's not how learning works, though. It's really frustrating. But if you're a client of mine, you've already heard me say probably a million times, like, how do kids learn? Two main ways: modeling and experiences. Modeling is great because it teaches our kids kind of just like what's normal, what to expect about the world around them. They kind of also kind of opens their minds up to possibilities, right? Like I can say one of the things that led me to the work I do right now is the modeling I saw from family members of how to raise their kids without raising their voice, and how to not be angry or punitive with their kids. Like I saw a model of that and it planted that seed in my mind, like, oh, it's possible to do this, even though it might not be my personal experience, because that wasn't really my parents' style. I got that model, even if it was just at Thanksgiving or something like that, that planted the seed in my mind. Ooh, here's a possibility, right? Or when a kid watches their mom go back to college and get a new degree and start a new career. Oh, that's a really cool example of like, you don't always have to have the same career your whole life. This was modeled for me, right? Or being honest or caring or whatever. Modeling is great. But even then, even with that modeling that teaches us like these are the possibilities in the world and this is what's kind of normal and usual in the world, even then, the true deep learning of a skill or an ability or a habit or a mistake and not making that mistake again, it all comes from experiences. So that's what I mean when I say the hard way is the only way. Because what we mean when we say the hard way is, oh, I don't want you to have to make that mistake and suffer the consequences. That's learning the hard way, right? Too bad, because that's how all kids learn. Experiences are the most profound and lasting kind of learning that our kids can have. And I get a little bit extreme on it, even where I could sometimes say it's the only way that we learn. Okay, truly. So we maybe want to rescue our kids from the consequences of their mistakes or remind them and stuff so they don't make those mistakes again. Nope. Giving kids experiences, whether they're organic experiences, this is the natural fallout of backstabbing your friends. They all are angry at you, for example, or it's an engineered consequence, like, oh, in our family, when you don't brush your teeth, you don't get to have sugary foods. That's how our family works. That's a natural consequence of the choice you made. But those experiences are what teach us. Now, here's the silver lining if you're feeling like, ugh, the hard way is the only way, even about big things like maybe like sex or drugs, even, or homework or grades. Yes, the hard way is the only way. We have to let our kids kind of fall on their faces, unfortunately. But here's the silver lining if that's really bumming you out or maybe even triggering you or stirring you up. It's our choice if we look at the hard way as hard. So it's not optional for our kids to quote unquote learn the hard way, but it is optional for it to be hard. Meaning, if we accept the idea that the hard way is the only way, that experiences are the best teacher, we can stop all of this running around that we do trying to prevent that from being true. Rescuing our kids, giving them lectures, giving them the TED Talk, shaming them when they make mistakes, punishing them or threatening them, like all the things that we really shouldn't be doing and they really don't help with parenting. If we can get to a place of acceptance, like, hey, the hard way is the way, it doesn't become the hard way anymore. It's just the way. all of a sudden we don't need to do all of these things, all these stopgaps that we are running around doing all the time. How many plates do we have spinning in the air that are all about arguing with that reality and trying to stop our kids from having to learn stuff the hard way? And when we do that, the hard way is just not that hard. It is truly just the way. Because instead of feeling like, oh my gosh, there must have been something I could have done to prevent this, this must be a mistake that I made, this must be a horrible mistake that my child made, all of those things, we can just accept it when our kids make mistakes. We can be there to support them. We can be there to facilitate their learning a lesson from that mistake without feeling like, God, if I'd only been able to impart this amazing 40 years of knowledge that I'm carrying around in my head to my child, then this wouldn't have happened. Well, yeah, but that's not possible. So why don't you just stop putting that pressure on yourself? Why not stop telling yourself that something impossible is possible and instead show up in acceptance with what is, meaning support your kids while they go through hard stuff. Ask these amazing open-ended questions that empower your child to learn from their mistakes without shame, without that inner critic voice that we probably are spending all of our time trying to overcome, right? We have this opportunity to make the way actually the easy way, because it can be easeful when there's acceptance around it. It can be easeful when there's no shame and judgment around it. It doesn't mean it feels good all the time. Mistakes sometimes feel like a big bummer. And when we make bad decisions, outcomes we don't love happen, and that kind of sucks. And that's okay. It's the that's okay part that's so profound. So if you're watching this video, if you're listening to this audio, I want you to take away two things. The hard way is the only way, and you get to decide if it's hard or not. So ask yourself, how might this not have to be this hard? How might this actually be easeful for me and my child? And how can I actually walk alongside them while they navigate all those rocky roads that I've already navigated without having to prevent them from making mistakes, prevent them from quote unquote learning the hard way? And if that is resonating with you, if you are feeling like, OMG, it is time for me not only to watch these videos and read these emails, but to really get the support and help to make this shift in my life and change the dynamic in my family, change the behavior in my family, change the relationship I have with my kid, I'm here for you. That's my jam. That's what I do all day long, and I'm ready to do it with you too. So set up a free call with me and tell me all about it. I can't wait to hear your story. I'm open and ready to receive whatever struggles are coming your way and help you navigate those so you're not alone and you really can transcend this challenge and get to the other side. Have a great day, everybody. I will talk to you soon. Bye.